What is going on, guys? My name is Sena, and welcome back to another video. One of the most important skills to have in Valorant is the ability to play aggressive and always come out of the fight on top. Even if you play support or don't like playing aggressive, there will be times where you have to if you want to win the round. Mastering this skill is the key to skyrocketing your confidence and helping you win so many more games because of the sheer amount of impact that you will have. However, it's not that easy. If you play aggressive and just push everything without thinking or knowing what you're doing, you'll just die over and over again and wonder what you're doing wrong and lose rounds by throwing man advantage early. This video aims to help teach you how to play aggressive and frag out without dying. We're going to start by talking about the mental and game sense aspect of adopting this kind of playstyle, and then go over some technical and mechanical things you should focus on to become unkillable. With all of that being said, if you do end up enjoying this video or finding it helpful, don't forget to drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Without any further ado, let's get right into it. The first thing you really need to get down before you can adopt an aggressive playstyle is your confidence. Confidence is key, especially with a playstyle where you need to heavily trust your aim and mechanics. Confidence is something that comes with experience, since the more times you are put in a similar situation, the more confident you will be next time around. I know I say this a lot, but I cannot stress enough how useful of a resource Swift Play and Unrated can be for practicing playing aggressive and pushing early fights with no stakes on the line. The more times you go for aggressive plays, the more confident you will play and the more successful you will be. It's hard to just tell yourself to be confident without the practice and experience to back it up, and this is the first thing that's very important to understand before you adopt a playstyle like this. If you aren't confident in yourself and don't trust your aim or don't trust your mechanics, you'll have self-doubt in the back of your mind and it will subconsciously affect your performance in game. I think that pretty much covers everything about confidence. So now that we understand this, the next thing we need to start doing before taking an early aggressive fight is to take the fight with intention. I call this smart aggression, and you need to have a reason for every one of your actions in a game. Are you trying to claim map control early in the round? Are you trying to punish a player who always lurks on your side of the map? Or are you just trying to turn a 0 into 1 and secure man advantage early? Your intention doesn't have to be something crazy. It could just be, I want to look for an early kill, so it's a 4v5, which is a valid reason. But always having a plan like this will help making your intentions for the round more clear and give you a path to follow. For example, maybe you tell yourself that after you get 1, you're going to get out so you can secure that man advantage. Whereas if you didn't think about that and you just pushed and randomly stumbled into a kill, you'll panic and not know where to go. Another huge aspect of smart aggression is to take into account the enemy's team composition and their habits. Do they have a Sova or a Skye that's going to scout you out and hinder your push? Do they have a Reyna or a Phoenix who's going to flash around the corner you're about to push? Or do they have a Breach or Neon that's going to stun the line that you're on? Utility usage, without a doubt, is the biggest skill gap in Valorant, and understanding what the enemy team can do to stop you is the key to counterplay and working around them. Most of you probably already know this, but you aren't actually thinking about it when you're playing. You need to stop yourself from autopiloting and actually apply this thought process in game. Have they been 5-man pushing sites, or are they defaulting and playing slow? Predicting their playstyle will make your push so much more effective because you'll be ready for the general positions that they'll be in. A good example of this is mid on Haven. What happens a lot of the time is a player will swing mid window at the very start of the round to fight mid as their players scale up garage. A great counterplay to this is to call for your smoke player to smoke mid window at the very start of the round. Then you can push and hold bottom mid to catch a player off guard who likely won't realize that their teammate got smoked off in window. This is a play I personally do a lot, and I've gotten so many easy free kills doing this. Reyna and Jett are definitely the best for this kind of playstyle, since you can easily get out after you get a kill. Another great example is A main on Ascent. On Ascent, most teams will be running a Sova, and typically a good Sova player will drone up A main to try to clear the angle so they can get their team up. You can just hide in A main, either in the A main smoke or even just hiding behind the angle, and then when you hear them running up with the drone, you swing out and get a kill and get out. A lot of players will put a lot of confidence on this recon utility, and as soon as it goes up and they don't see anything, they just assume it's clear and run up with it, and that is the perfect time for you to strike. Again, this is something that I do a lot and leads me to my next point, which is to find the timing. Find Finding the timing is finding an opportunity to swing and look for that kill when the enemy team is least ready for it and most vulnerable. Typically, this is when they're waiting for a drone to scale up or waiting for the recon to clear an angle, but this can also be when they're grabbing an orb or starting to cast their abilities and getting ready for an execute. This is a perfect example of finding the timing. I'm sitting in the A main smoke, and as soon as I hear Gecko pop his ult, I immediately swing and get 2 kills completely for free because they were waiting on that ult. Valorant is a game of position and timings, and I put myself in the best position to capitalize on the timing, which led me to get 2 free kills here and win the round for my team. Waiting for the timing instead of immediately pushing isn't something you always have to do. For example, with the Haven mid push I mentioned earlier, it's actually better to get out as far as possible as quick as possible. For tight, close choke points like A main and B main on most maps, it's much better to wait for the timing since the amount of utility being used to clear it and the expectancy of you being there is much higher. Now that we understand finding the timing and the importance of timings in this game and positioning, let's talk about the technical and mechanical aspect of having an aggressive playstyle and how to give yourself the biggest advantage. The first thing to understand about your mechanics is that your aim and movement are very synergetic and both need to be working together, otherwise one will mess up the other. As far as aim goes, the most important thing is to get your pre-aim on point and make sure you aren't flicking. Playing aggressive heavily depends on reaction time, since your reaction time will be better as you are the one that's ready for the fight and setting the tempo while the enemy team has to respond and react to it. By having good pre-aim, you will minimize the distance you need to move your crosshair to hit the shot, which will minimize the time it takes to hit the shot and make your reaction time advantage even stronger as a result. Your movement is just as important because you need to peak with the fastest speed if you want to have the biggest advantage. The best way to do this is by peaking only using A and D and making sure you aren't pressing W while you are in the middle of peaking. Holding W at any point during your strafe will slow you down and make you an easier shot to hit, so it's good to avoid doing this as much as possible. Another point about movement is that you should be standing as far away from the wall in front of you as possible. This will make it so that you see the enemy before or at the same time that they see you, since distance from angles plays a huge role in who wins a fight, as you can see in this diagram here. Once you get comfortable pre-aiming, keeping your distance from the wall, and swinging using A and D, you will start winning your aggressive duels much more consistently. Just to quickly recap all of the points, first, you need to make sure your confidence is in check and make sure you actually practice the points in the video. Next, you need to make sure that you fight with intention and always pay attention to the enemy's agent comp and habits to put yourself in the most favorable fights. Next, you need to find the timing to push and use your utility and teammates' utility to make the duels easier. And lastly, we talked about the most important mechanics to practice and get down to make sure that your aim and movement are on point to dominate your fights. If you guys have any questions about anything I talked about in this video, feel free to leave those down in the comment section so I or others can help you out. I also have a Discord server linked down in the description below. I'm very active in there and we have a super chill community and we would love to have you. Thank you guys so much for all of your support on the channel recently. You guys are the best and I've been trying to upload more frequently so I can get more quality content out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day or night to watch this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.